Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. Haha. I'm trying to multi-stream tonight. I'm probably on Rumble right now. I don't know. I had a preview video that I don't know if it cuts off and has me start playing or not till I get some messages from people I do not know. But anyway, we had a bunch of fun last night, and Jack's got himself a little problems today. He thinks everything's going to be smooth sailing. But Amy Byrne Jackson down in, or no, what's her name in Florida? She said, well, hey, wait a minute. You got to step back and reconfigure. And Mr. T's been putting out stuff. We'll go over that. And we'll go over other videos that you may or may not have seen and discuss what's happening. And I appreciate everybody that's tuned in tonight and everybody who tunes into the broadcast after I've been live. How you doing, Jax? Wild West, how you doing? Everybody's coming on in. That's great. I appreciate it very much. So, in my thumbnail, I've got Trump lesson. Haha. Jack smacked. Art of the squeal. And in my picture, I got bop, bop, bing, bing, boom, boom. What do I mean about that? Well, I'll tell you, it's what I noticed in one of Mr. T's speeches that pertains to things we were talking about last night. Bop, bop, bing, bing, boom, boom. I think he said more than that, though. Hi, Jamie, Diane, Lone Wolf, Mary, Angel, B-Dog, Dory, nice to see you. Henri, yes, thumbs up. Thank you, Henri. Hi, Donna. Gloria, Kim. Good evening to everyone. Diane says, Wild West. Ian, pow, kablam. So, yeah. Bop, bop, bing, bing, boom, boom. Melinda. So, anyway, I will, at the end of the video, I will play that lady that was on last night. I will play that video as my outro. But right now, I want to play this little video here. And if there are people tuning in, and I want to welcome my new subscribers. I got a bunch of new subscribers the past couple of days. And so I will be playing some stuff or showing memes that you've probably already seen. But we want to welcome our new people. And anybody who is on the fence about Mr. T or even does not like Mr. T, you might do well to listen to this broadcast, because we're all about keeping our heads on right and doing what's best for ourselves and our country and our loved ones, right? So, what's going on? We know this is unusual, historic times. Now, this lady here had a comment from somebody. It's fuzzy, but they said, your lips are stuck awfully tight on his B-U-T-T. And this person was talking about Mr. T. So this is her response to TDS clown troll. So, like I say, if you're on the fence about Mr. T, or even if you can't stand him, here's another person's point of view. Oh, and I have to warn you that there's a little strong language. You've got little ones around you. There's a couple of words that pop out here. But, hey, those clowns and trolls will do it to you.
I think a lot of you just assume like I'm a Donald Trump lover. I'm just a person that's smart and can see past the smoke and the bullshit. If you are sitting at home and you are listening to the media tell you that this man is bad for the country and all these other things, you don't think Joe Biden's bad for the country? He just spent $56 billion of your dollars to support a war between Ukraine and Russia while we have homelessness, high gas prices, high food prices, and high rent prices. Just marinate on that for a minute. They also want to make you believe he is the devil because of this insurrection. You and other people like you obviously do not understand history or have not learned in a history class that all people go up against their federal government in some capacity. Why do you think your federal government is working so hard to disarm you? Why do you think your federal government is working so hard to shave off parts of the Second Amendment that would allow you to be able to actually bear arms and protect yourself if your government decides to become tyrannical and decides to institute anarchy to limit your freedoms and your constitutional rights? Why do you think that? For a lot of you, a lot of my comments are just going to go over your head, and I get it, right? Because it's not tantalizing, it's educational. But my only response to you at this point is you need to get your head out of the ass of the media and get your head in a book. And get your head in a book in a way that you understand the political factions that go on in this country. The things that have happened historically that have led us up to having an outlier like Donald Trump. And have you ever asked yourself, how did Donald Trump run through career politicians and become the president of the United States? I think they decided they wanted to try a social experiment by letting just a regular lay person get into the presidency and see how it went. Unfortunately, it didn't go the way that they want. They thought he too would be a puppet, as all of the rest of the puppets have been, and they have been the puppeteers. I'm gonna need y'all to wake up, because I shouldn't have to be on social media explaining to you the corrupt ways in which your government keeps you completely ignorant to the system. I shouldn't have to explain that to you. I shouldn't have to explain to you the fact that your government could give two fucks about you. All they care about is making sure that they put flags in other countries, and they're doing that through your pockets. But hey, you go off though, because hey, they obviously love you, and you keep voting.
And there you have it in a nice little nutshell. She did say Mr. T, they let him in because they thought they could play him. But as we've all discussed, we know Mr. T has been working with the fine folks in the military. But I'll tell you, we were talking about culture and how they tried to divide us on race and everything they could think of, really. But even though they're on the other side of the ocean, the young lady you just saw and this person here, I think, would have a good discussion together over a cup of coffee. Ha ha. But anyway, let me play this and you tell me what you think.
You want to keep more of the money you earn. I'm afraid that's very selfish. We shall want to tax that away. You want to own shares in to earn your firm. You want to choose where to send your children to school. That's very divisive. You'll send your child where we tell you. Mr. President, the trouble with Labour is that they're just not at home with freedom. Socialists don't like ordinary people choosing, or they might not choose socialism.
They didn't call her the Iron Lady for nothing. That was Margaret Thatcher back in the 1980s. Many of us remember that very well. The Iron Triumvirate. Who was that? Ronald Magnaldus Reaganus and Margaret Thatcher and Pope John Paul, who warned us all of the culture of death. So just a little walk down memory lane. And I think those two ladies would have a really productive and fun conversation if they were ever to meet. So it is how you raise your culture, your spirituality, and how you use your logic in your brain as to what these people are doing. Last night there was somebody that came in chats that I missed that was apparently a pro Biden, and hey, I'm sorry I missed him. Could have had a good talk with him. Hi, Tennessee, how you doing? Phil, Camperman. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, she was amazing. Hi, Sherry. Let's see. Nikki, nice to see you. Awaken Trillium. So if I missed anybody, hi, Lori. Hi, Angel. B-Dog. Everybody's making it. Miss Minder Sue. Cheryl. So we had a good time last night. Hi, Bambi. We had a good time. Hi, Jax. So anyway, I am going to play this. If there's somebody, because, somebody tunes in and they think, oh, this is going to be bashing Trump. That's why I want to watch this video. I want to see Trump get bashed. So they tune in and they say, no, I'm out of here. Well, wait a minute. Before you go, if you are like, just don't like Mr. T and you want to keep the status quo, think to yourself, are these misfits and ne'er-do-wells that have been running our government for all these years? Think to yourself, why? Why do they all want him out? All the misfits, all the same olds. Do you think they're really going to keep him out? Do you really think that he won by accident in 2016? Or can you look in your mind and say to yourself, maybe this is something that's been laid out to teach not just Americans, but a lot of people around the world what's been happening, how far we have been slipping away, and how unfair the media is. Here's a good meme I just pulled up. Let me see here. Don't take that picture yet. MSNBC. Perfect. Now it's news. Ha ha. You see, I'll put it where you can get a screen. The misfits and weirdos that are on the one side. I mean, who in the world wants to be telling kids to that there's something wrong with them, depress them, scare them, and then do something to them irreversible with a knife? Who the hell thinks that's a rational way to look at the world? And maybe this is something that people need to see. And if, like Mr. T said, if I'd have gone 4 years and then another 4 years, it just wouldn't have been good. It wouldn't have got us to the point we needed to get to. So with that being said, I'm going to show a short clip of the lady I played last night, and I will play the entire clip when I go out of my broadcast. I mentioned that already. But I played the beginning twice. She says she is sitting on an advisory board for the Department of Defense. She knows what she's talking about. And for people to think the narrative of the mainstream media that Donald Trump is a bumbling blowhard who just cares about himself, he's selfish, and he's a liar and a huckster and all this kind of stuff. These people creating this narrative could not shine his shoes. Think rationally. And listen to what this lady has to say. It's only about 30 seconds. And like I say, I played a full clip at the end.
I sent a task force at the Department of Defense. And the thing is, they've got the goods. They've got the goods. And Trump knew that if he presented any of the goods early on, we'd have a civil war. That he really felt that the people needed to see how bad it could get. And that.
So the reason I'm playing that is because I know many of the people in the chats know this, but he has the goods. And I know Representative Louis Gohmert said, because I heard him say it, that there was a raid in Frankfurt, Germany, and I can say it one time maybe on Utizzle and get away with it, on the Seidel servers, okay? and they've got everything they need. We're going through this darkness. You have to go through the darkness to see the light, and people who haven't been paying attention because they're trying to raise their families, their husband and wife are working jobs. They've got issues. Their kids are coming home with their head like scrambled eggs. Then you've got people like us who have been for years looking outside of the regular media and seeing what's going on. Here's an example of, we have got a limited resources as far as some of our younger people. I got this from Meme the Left. Meme the Left. Kind of an English voice. But here is an example of graduates from school starting off with, where is America?
No, check this out.
What country is this?
I don't know.
Okay. What's your major?
Communications.
What the do y'all do?
Talking, speeches.
About what? Not the countries, obviously.
Clearly not.
Clearly.
About random stuff. Topics.
What was your most recent essay on?
Sexual assault cases.
Okay. All right. Well, could you tell me where Brazil is?
Right here.
Oh, God, what can you say about that?
She pointed over somewhere toward Mongolia, where Brazil is. The guy was pointing at America, and she said, I don't know what country that is. These are college graduates. And I'm only saying this because what frustrates many of us in the chats right here is we went to school, there was a big map on the wall. There was a globe on the table. You at least knew what flippin' state you were living in, what the capital of the state you lived in. You knew where Russia was. You knew where America was. And more importantly, you knew how you were born. So you see how we get frustrated sometimes with what we're looking at and what we have to deal with. And when you try to talk to somebody who doesn't even know where the country they live in is on the map, and they interrupt and argue in an all-knowing way, that can make you a little frustrated. But I'm not that frustrated. I'm going to keep on keeping on. Let me see what's going on in that chat. Hi, Richard. How you doing? Jason, how are you? Double Lot, how you doing? Haha. Well, good. I'm seeing a lot of people are coming in. That's good. I am. A lot of you weren't in when I first came up. I am multi-streaming. I'm right now live on Bumble, supposedly at the same time I'm live now. Now here's an interview a young person is doing, and talk about patience. This is, and I've said it a million times, Sky News. Don't get it mixed up with Sky News Australia. And I have felt that they have put out a anti-American narrative for years, and this just confirms it. Listen to the questions, this reporter, and how he is phrasing his questions about our country and our president of the United States. And this young man has a lot more patience than I have. But anyway, I'll let you go ahead and listen to it. Like I said, pay attention to how he portrays Donald Trump.
You're here supporting Donald Trump.
Yeah,
you're
gotta
live
support
on
the boss.
Well, you're live on Sky News. Tell me
the
why.
only way to save America is with Donald Trump.
They would have it, the prosecutor. He's the man who tried to destroy America, subvert democracy.
That's another made-up story. It's another made-up story, another made-up indictment. They've been after this man since he came down the escalator 8 years ago. I got to remember, when was America great? 2017, 18, 2019, until the commie Democrats called their bosses in Wuhan to release the virus. Remember, we had a thriving economy. Stock market was through the roof. Energy independence. We had respect all around the world. America first. First Constitution, he put the Constitution first, and it all went to shit 30 months ago. Everything you're seeing today is the result of a stolen election.
John, apologies for the language, by the way, but listen, number one superpower, you say, not the number one democracy, the prosecutors would say, because of this man, the man who will appear here.
You gotta remember, where are you from?
Scotland.
Well, here in America, we're a constitutional republic. We follow the Constitution and the Bill of Rights.
It might have been an autocracy had Donald Trump had his way. That would be the way the prosecutors see it.
We got a guy now that thinks he's king. So, you know what? We got a Trump their king with an America first king. So I would support King Trump coming back, occupying the White House again in January 2025.
Ha ha ha. So anyway, this guy sat there and said Donald Trump would have destroyed, doesn't even know what he's talking about, doesn't even know what our Constitution is about, and buying the Western lamestream media BS. Here's a nice meme for you. But he was very polite, much more polite than I would have been. But I'm learning. We'll take you to our leader if you take him with you. Ha ha ha. Let me see what's going on in the chats. Ha, yeah, it was awesome, wasn't it, Jax? He was kept cool. He just told it like it was, and that stuff is being broadcast over there in Scotland. And slowly but surely, we will be getting through the mainstream media. Mr. T put out something to the effect of the nation can start healing when we start having an honest press. I'll pull that up in a minute. But I'm going to pull up something else, a story. Let me see if I can find it, that I had in my studio last night about the sound of freedom. And many of you have probably already heard about it. But where did that go? They said a financier of the sound of freedom. Here it is. And this is one Charlie Kirk put up. This was actually, I think, day before yesterday or early yesterday. Somebody put this up. Ian Miles Chong, the Legacy Media, is reporting that, quote, a funder of social freedom, Sound of Freedom, just got busted for kidnapping a child. Can you guess how much he gave the film's production? Around $501. He was only one of thousands, 6,000, I will say, who helped to fund the production. This is nothing more than a smear. And I asked everybody about what they thought of Daily Mail a couple of nights ago. I know what I think of Daily Mail now. Fabian Marta, whose name appears in Sound of Freedom credits for helping crowdfund the anti-child trafficking blockbuster film, is charged with kidnapping a child. Donor, Sound of Freedom. Well, turns out this was a custody dispute. He is a landlord, and one of his tenants had his own children. The wife got mad because she had the kids longer than he should have, or who knows what the story was. But this guy was not involved in it. And the cops wanted to forcibly enter into a property he owned. I think he lived in the unit next to or in the same building. And he said, no, you can't kick the door in. Show me a warrant or something. And they claimed he was kidnapping the children. So and he put $500 towards the movie along with thousands of other people. But don't you know, these same outlets that are reporting this in such a stinted way, all of them reported this story. But when Sound of Freedom was taken off and bringing in tens of millions of dollars, if they weren't saying something bad about, they weren't saying nothing at all. So, y'all, we're going to get down to the Biden billions, where they are. And, I got to notice, let me see here. I'm going to put up another meme or story for you to see. This is all coming out. And I think this has got something to do with Obama. A little announcement that how he fantasizes about men, and Justin Trudeau, hopping around with his little go-go pants on, and the Barbie movie. He went to see the Barbie movie with his son. All this stuff is bracing everybody for what we already knew. This one person says, ladies, what's stopping you from having a back like this? Y chromosomes. So anyway, I got a notification here that, hey, Lone Wolf went and got a coffee. This is a viewer-supported and creator-supported channel only. I appreciate everybody who helps me out with a buy me a coffee. Tennessee helped me out last night. David helped me out last night. I appreciate it. Holy cow. I dropped my pen. Oh, goodness. So I'm hitting a few special. I'm trying to find my gun. Here's a bomb. Boom. Pow. And Norm helped me out. Pow. Right on the head. Here goes another one. Pow. So anyway, where's my bullet holes? I know I got them somewhere. Daggone it. Where's my bullet holes? I hope they didn't take them out. Oh, here we go. Pow. Oh, it's taking a minute to load. But anyway, I appreciate it, Lone Wolf. I've got a link in the description for anybody who wants to help the channel out. My bullet holes won't work. I want to see where they hit random. I can't put them anywhere I want. So, anyway, I'll just stick with a bomb. Pow. Bang. There we go. Boom. Bang. Bang. Anyway, I'm starting to play with this a little too much. Pow, pow, pow. All right, that's enough of that, folks. How's my chat showing? Are they stuck on the screen movie? Is that true, Tennessee? Because I was going to say, I hadn't heard anything about that in the Barbie movie, that they had any of the T word going on there. Oh, here's a story that I noticed 2 weeks ago. U.S. soldier, lady. So anyway, this happened recently, and, within the last, 4 months, 5 months, went to trial. This young Marine was out catting around and picked up a quote date. And when he found out there was something he didn't expect, the person ended up with their head in a toilet bowl, of all things. So, and the guy was very, very drunk. And there's something you can look at if you care to, but I can tell you this. Instinct and people being revolted, the instinct to be revolted. Don't blame me for don't shoot the messenger. I'm just telling you, there's an instinct with people. And then you have to ask yourself a question. Bill Cosby went out and got people all doped up, smoked up, drunked up, whatever, and took advantage of them. and ended up in prison. Okay? Now you have somebody get somebody drunk, obviously doesn't disclose the status of their being. And they're all, walking 3 feet off the ground, high as kites, drunk, and who knows what. And something happens that would take somebody aback. So it's an interesting story, but I'm just saying it's a touchy ground to walk on. I'll put it that way. Here's a latest thing from UTizzle I found interesting. I said, what in the world is this? It was in the ads. They're soft pedaling now, soft pedaling. Over 40 products in clinical trials around the world. And this person's looking at their biceps. And then down here it says, look forward to the day ahead. Play the long game with Zaire Wade's favorite science-backed supplements. What? I'll give you guys one guess what supplements they're selling and advertising on UTizzle. But at least it isn't totally geared toward young ones. They're backing away from that because there's a lot of backlash going on. Speaking of backlash, here's another story that's showing you how the culture is reacting now that they're not intimidated because we have a leader now that is speaking out. Feminist cafe to charge 18%, quote, man tax goes out of business. Let's see, is that a UTizzle video? The Pluralist, April 23rd, 2019. It's an old one, but I'll tell you who put that up. Who put this up? I think it was Doug in Exile. Or one of those when I watched Doug in Exile. Now they're putting the stories up, a little late, but we'll take them where we can get them. And if you put your foot down money-wise, we can have an impact. And it's not to be malicious. It's to protect our culture and our way of life and to make sure that we don't have any surprises at 2 o'clock in the morning like that young Marine did. So, what did I say the other night? It was in the equation there happened to be a dangling participle nobody expected. So if, like I said, you're putting your trust in misfits, crumb bums, they're the only ones, the old guard media that have been up for decades and decades and decades, and crooked old rich politicians who have been in office longer than many Biden voters have been alive. They are the ones who are going after Trump hammer and tongue. Why won't Feinstein just resign? From Diamond and Silk. Feinstein cedes power of attorney to daughter, refuses calls to resign from Senate. The dispute, nasty though it may be on its own, plays into a wider narrative about Feinstein's capabilities. So, here is a picture of her daughter who's got power of attorney. Interesting looking person, I'll say. I don't know if it's the they, them, or what that is. But she cedes power, 90 years old. Now, I will say to a lot of my newer viewers, my new subscribers, that I saw Dianne Feinstein after she heard Lindsey Graham talk about parallel justice systems and unlawful combatants and what can happen to people who are working for another country and betraying our country. She lost 10 years on her looks right there that day. Fox News is just now coming out with this right here. Now, we went over this, I don't know, sometime last week. This letter, just tonight or today, Vice President Devin Archer, where Joe, and there's his signature if anybody wants, this is 2011. So, yeah, if anybody wants to grab a screenshot of that to bolster their or research their notions about Joe and his signature. But anyway, Fox News is acting like they just, this is a whoop-de-doo big deal. But we are the news, KNEWS. We already knew about this letter. I just wanted to put it up there and show you. We're ahead of the national news by about what? Half a week? Anyway, I got a picture of Biden in here from back in the day. Here it is. I think this is it. Let me see what this article is about. Text messages given to the FBI. Chinese wanted Biden family name to help acquire U.S. energy assets. They will be the Goldmans of China, one of Hunter Biden's business associates boasted about the relationship with the CEFC. But this picture of Biden is an older picture. See what I'm saying? That is the Joe Biden I remember. All right. This was about 5 years after his hair plugs. This picture is probably from like 2012 to 15, somewhere, I don't know. But you get a screenshot of that picture. He's got earlobes, folks. Earlobes. And you can see in his face, it's different. I'm not saying anything but that. The only thing I'm saying is it's different. That's all I'm saying. Now, another thing I had in my studio last night was this one right here. A question. Watermelon Head. January 6th committee members demand transparency for Trump trials after attempts to keep Capitol footage secret. Now, remember I said a number of broadcasts ago, the only trans movement I am for is the transparency movement. Declassify these documents that they don't want us to see. But it says, given the historic nature of the charges brought forth in these cases, it's hard to imagine a more powerful circumstance for televised proceedings. Why would he want Trump is going to crush it. Why is Shifty Schiff pushing? Think about it. Lin Wood, who I said in the past maybe stepped over a few boundaries he should not have said stuff. But he has met with DJT. He used to meet with Sidney Powell. But then he got a little too frisky. But he said December 25th, 2020, he put out a tweet the next day, that Adam Schiff had a bad Christmas. In other words, insinuating that he had been taken into custody. And now you see what I think is Adam Schiff moving towards supporting having this federal hearing, which is not normally done, televised, which is what I believe Mr. T wants, the world to see the evidence. And speaking of evidence, we've got this character right here doing everything in his power, everything, or at least his little minions are doing everything. This is another good program to watch, Explain America, to hide stuff, not let the public understand what's being filed against DJT and not letting DJT talk about what's being filed against him or what he is filing in his defense, because they don't want stuff declassified. They don't want transparency. But now you have Adam Schiff pushing for it. And if I wish I had a picture, I could probably pull it up for those who didn't see it. The finance minister of Nigeria crying. I mean, crying some heavy tears when they told him you got 48 hours. I'll see if I can pull that out of the studio. You got 48 hours to tell us where all the money's at, or you're out of here. And out of here, I mean, bing, bing, bop, bop, boom, boom, you know? Let me see if I got him in here. And, hey, that method to gain cooperation, it's not like the authorities in Niger are the only ones to use it, especially if the crimes you have committed are such that you got it coming. Anyway, I might have it in the studio. But anyway, I played a short video of him crying his eyeballs out. And I still have that video somewhere. Who's to say that Adam Schiff isn't in the same situation? Cooperate or else. Because we know that, some people may have had a quiet trial. Not to the extent a lot of the clickbait crowd and that make videos are saying, but there's people that have been talked to in private to gain their cooperation. So anyway, here we go. Let me put this up. In case you haven't got that. Ha ha ha. There we go. So, Eileen Cannon, that's her name. Let me find her. She has put out some stuff where Jack and Company has to walk the chalk. She's curious. Here she is. Gateway Pundit. I think Mr. T, I'm not sure who put this one out. Just in, Judge Eileen Cannon comes out swinging and delivers blow to Jack Smith in classified documents case. Liberals scream for dismissal afterwards. I don't know what to do. There's a normal person on. So what she said is, in a nutshell, that they're filing all these secret or sealed documents in Florida. They're going on with grand juries all over in different states. Judge Cannon's like, what are you doing? You're filing all this garbage that's happening in different states and then bringing it down here to Florida. You got to justify what you're doing, and you got to disclose everything that you're filing. A complete different approach from this D.C. judge who Trump's team went to see today. Jack Smith requested Monday an unheard of time frame for the defense team to give a response. And here we go. They gave a response. This is from Technovog. Counsel for Donald Trump responded to D.C. Judge Tanya Chutkan expedited schedule. Now, there's another magistrate judge involved. It's got a name I can't pronounce, but her decision to ignore local rules and give Trump less than one business day to respond to this important motion is a concerning development, inconsistent with due process rights. The local rules are 14 days. And here they've given them less than one business day. The court, one click below a gag order is what they're trying to do to Trump. And I wouldn't be surprised, as Trump has petitioned or asked, that the Supreme Court take a look at this whole fiasco. Here he is. Here's the explain what happened to the country's finances and where the stolen money went. Interrogation of the Minister of Finance of Niger. Niger's finance minister is crying on television. The military gave him 48 hours to explain the lack of finances in the country. Otherwise, he would be SH, and the other two letters are OT. Okay? Art of the squeal. Because I haven't heard, this has been well over 48 hours ago. I haven't heard anything about it. So I guarantee you he is singing like a bird. In other words, cooperating. And I think you have to take a look at what a lot of people are talking about with people like Adam Schiff. They may be in the very same situation. Watermelon Head. And people that have been submitted and have to do as they're told. I think Trump goes out of his way to belittle and insult them publicly, because what is Trump's lesson? He says, what I do to people is not just for the person who needs to have that done to him. He said, it's for everybody that's watching to learn a lesson too. So in other words, when he smacks somebody down, it's for everybody that's watching in case they're thinking about doing something where they need to get smacked. So I think that's one of the reasons. And if you watch how Mr. T deals with these people, describes these people, you'll see that I am right. Now, here's something that's going to blow your socks off, folks. Are you all ready for your socks to get blown off? I'm going to show you something. I'll put this meme up so I can take some stuff down. Okay? And then I'm going to blow your socks off. You know those initials we can't put in the chats on Utizzle? And I can't say the initials. I can't even say the phrase in one piece. That I could break it up. I could say nothing. And then I could say can stop, right? And then I could say what is coming. And for the people that have been putting those initials in my chats, please stop doing that. Or in the comments, because it attracts attention and gets me in trouble. Thank you. I appreciate that. But don't get mad at me, because I'm going to show you something that's going to blow your socks off. At least it blew my socks off, okay? And I got this from my good friend on Truth and Art TV, Bernie on Truth and Art TV. Who's always ahead of the curve? Let me find it. Here we go. Company of statewide interoperability coordinators. You see the initials there, don't you? Oh boy, I hope we got a lot of people in watching this. It's fuzzy, but what it is, I'll get a clear shot of it. What it is they coordinate electronic communications, internet communications, statewide interoperability, communications between all aspects of the federal government with state and local governments. All that stuff is monitored by this National Council of Statewide Interoperability Coordinators. Help people get their satellite phones, help people with a lot of different things, with their internet connections. So, yeah, that might be something you can just remember the name and look it up and check them out and read what kind of services, quote, they provide. And all government employees got to go through it. So, that's fun. Ha ha ha. Now, Mr. T said, this country can start healing when the news organizations start being fair. Now, here's something I'm gonna put up real quick. I didn't put it up last night because I didn't want to get in trouble, but what I just put up could get me in trouble. I don't know. So I'll put this up. Very important. It's harder for the machine to pick up, okay? If it's up on the screen all by itself, they can zero in on it quicker, right? Absent from the news. Dumb, and the other word is onion, lost their lawsuits against Rudy Giuliani and Sidney Powell. This is a win we haven't heard about. Now that has been put to bed against Sidney Powell is why she's coming out and saying she's working on filing something. We don't know when it's going to hit. But in her own words, it's going to be biblical. Now, I am going to play for you guys, since it played broken up the last time I played it. It was Rudy Giuliani. And who think Rudy Giuliani is a funny old man or a crackpot lawyer. Let me remind you something now. Rudy Giuliani brought down the mob. Rudy Giuliani went to Ukraine and spoke with the prosecutors, Shokin. Rudy Giuliani reported to us that they tried to poison Shokin over a year and a half ago. Now it is just now being put out in the news. Rudy Giuliani traced $900,000 cash money through Luxembourg straight into a Biden account and laid all the paperwork on the table. So Rudy Giuliani is for the media to help portray him in the dastardly way they've done. They've done this country a disservice. But I'm gonna play that, and if you can't stand Mr. T or don't like Rudy Giuliani, you're not thinking right. You have been a victim of an illegal psychological warfare campaign that is smearing the leaders of this country in the field of law, business, and politics. But anyway, this is what Rudy Giuliani thinks of Jack Smith. And I'm playing it again because it played rough in my last broadcast.
His future. I worry about the Jack Smiths of this world. I have a chapter in my book called Stand Up to Bullies. So here's what I say to Jack Smith. After the Supreme Court threw out your case, which should have been a disgrace, and you should have gone and found another profession because you don't belong in this one. This one will be your legacy. Violating the right of free speech of an American citizen. Never mind whether he was president or not. It could be
Not his boss, but the guy who appointed him. What about
well, how
Attorney
about we
General
start
Merrick Garland?
investigating his
What do you say to him?
son-in-law? I say I want to investigate his son-in-law, who's making millions. The boss, I mean, it's all about money in the Biden administration. While the boss is condemning parents as terrorists, the son-in-law is making millions going around to public schools and teaching kids they should question their gender. Do you know that? They don't cover it. Our crooked press doesn't cover that.
I think I've covered that with you on the balance quite a few times.
I know we have. You and I have.
It's amazing.
But everybody covers it up.
And the thing.
This administration is filled with crook.
Mr. Mayor, my mayor, we were this close from having Merrick Garland a Supreme Court judge for the rest of his natural life. Mr. Mayor,
All right, Ms. Mendersu said tons of buffering. So if it's buffering, I'm not going to play that clip of the lady because I don't like doing that if I got buffering. Daggone, must be something about this specific clip because he told Jack Smith right off the bat he's a bum. His legacy is going to be that of a bum. That's my words, a bum. So anyway, everybody's saying that was a buffering video. I'm going to have to upload that video remotely so I don't have to worry about buffering and just do a short clip of that video. I will do that on Bumble. So anyway. All right, folks. When the mainstream media starts being honest is when this country can heal. That's what Mr. T said. And here at least you have Fox News showing the Devin Archer letter a half a week late. But anyway, here they are again. They're doing something. Mainstream media ignores Devin Archer transcript. ABC, CBS, CNN, NBC. How much coverage? None. That's right, Lori. I think there's something in there that's stopping that. This here, what's this? Eileen Cannon, Trump's Florida judge orders DOJ to unseal documents, justify D.C. investigation. She issued an order Monday, today, pressing the Department of Justice about its conduct in Trump's classified documents case. I wouldn't be surprised if the Supreme Court looks at Fannie 2x4 in Georgia. They already put Bragg on hold. They're going to put Fannie on hold. Then they got Jack messing around in D.C., and they got Jack down Florida messing around. Hey, if that was a citizen, not a presidential candidate, the courts would not allow that. You cannot play ping pong with a defendant, making them go from state to state, hopping around, trying to defend themselves against 57 and a half dreamt up garbage charges in multi-state locations simultaneously. That is inherently unjust. And anybody who tunes in to my broadcast that disputes that, you've got rocks in your head. That is not a lawful way to treat anybody. And I'm just saying that because people need to think. Are you thinking out of hatred for one person? Are you thinking in a manner that it appears that you have rocks in your head? Or are you being a rational human being? The Supreme Court is not going to allow this type of behavior for any person, whether it's Trump or anybody else. You can't have every screwball prosecutor all over the country dreaming up stuff about the president of the United States or former president or future president or whatever. You can't have that. You can't function as a society. And the other thing that they're doing, taking the pool man, putting him in every attorney Trump's had, the judges have tried to sanction, are in the process of sanctioning for millions of dollars. They're indicting people who are associated with Trump on specious crap. They're doing the same thing to people who are helping Trump or have helped him over the years that they're doing to Trump now. Multiple states, multiple charges that the average person could not withstand this type of abuse. So it's all being shown to the people. And there's no justification for it. What's this one? Oh, Brit Hume, chief political analyst, Fox News Channel. Arguments welcome. Name callers and verbal abusers blocked. Well, that's going to leave me out, Brit. Charlie Kirk said, if Trump was such a failed president, why are they doing everything they possibly can to prevent a second term of Trump? And Brit Hume says, who I used to think was a nice guy. Brit Hume says, oh, I don't know. Maybe they don't want a repeat of a failed presidency. Just guessing here. Talk about rocks in your head. So Brit Hume is off my list as a reliable, responsible journalist. And just a little something to think about as we go out. From Turning Point USA. I've met plenty of moms who say they wish they would have spent less time at work and more time with their kids. But I have never heard one mom say she wished she worked more while they were younger. How you doing, Red? Red's got that channel. I thought they were calling you Sarge. He's got that channel, Hello America, that you can take a look at. You can even suggest places to go and help produce a show, really. Anyway, if you get a chance, check it out.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for all the people in the world that have to watch Hello America and laugh at that stupid red-headed stuff. I'm sorry.
It's Explore America on YouTube. You can pick places to send Red. Ha ha ha. That's right, Michigan lifestyle. You got to take a lot with a grain of salt. Okay, Allison in Intel Land is another show, Explore America. That's right, my patience with stupid people is running short too. It's getting so obvious with what they're doing with Mr. T. It's getting so obvious. So anyway, folks, they're getting everybody to accept the business with Justin Trudeau and Obama because everything's going to be coming out about a lot of things. And I get in trouble when I put this meme up, but I'll put it up for you in case you haven't got it in your quiver, and I'll take it down. Ha 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 ha. So anyway, folks, I would play a video going out, but if it's buffering real bad, I don't want to do that. Might be because I'm multi-streaming, okay? That may be the reason. One thing to think about, libs spreading a ton of nonsense about Sound of Freedom today, acting like they never heard of a crowd-funded film before. What a joke. The same people never said a word about Jeffrey Epstein until he was caught. Really makes you think. All right, folks. Well, I appreciate you all joining me tonight. Thank you, Lone Wolf, for sponsoring tonight's broadcast. I've got a link in the description. Anybody wants to help the channel out. Thank you, Norm. Helped out also last night. Or when did he? Anyway, he kicked in for me. Norm did. I appreciate that. And David in Tennessee, Ridge Runner. But anyway, thank you, Lone Wolf. So you all have a great night. I'll be seeing you soon. Thank you for spending your precious time with me. This is Mountain Man, over and out.